You get it all set up, and he's like there. He asks you to stay outside of the circle for him to get the vibes. Adrian isn't particularly happy about it because I think Adrian wants to go home, but he wants you to get the vibes. He's like, are you rolling? Are you rolling?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Oh, the sound's
All right,
fine.
it's important for everybody to be absolutely silent. If you close your eyes, not you, camera woman, close your eyes, and I want you to reach out your thoughts to see if we can contact Peggy Rose. I'm going to contact Peggy Rose. I'm here. Has anybody got a word for me? Is there a word for me here? Is there a word for me? I'm getting a picture. I'm getting a picture of a. There's a woman. She's got her. She's got her back turned towards me. She's in the trees. Hello, you there? Is everyone seeing this? You're not seeing this, by the way. Is everyone seeing this? There's a woman in the trees. Lady in the trees. You are a spirit. You are from the spirit world. Sorry, I didn't. You're whispering. You need to speak more clearly. You need to come closer. Come from the trees. Come from the trees and come to me. Come and see me. There are. Oh. No. And he sort of shrinks back. No, really, no, I banish you, I drive you back. No, this is not acceptable. No, please. I have the ability to. He falls onto his back and starts thrashing around, screaming.
I look at Lucy. Should I do something?
Yeah. Adrian, what do we do? Does he normally do this? Is he all right?
Adrian's like there already on his knees next to Mr. Higginson. He's going, Eric, please, Eric, Mr. Higginson, please. And he's like thrashing around. He's screaming his lungs out. He's completely lost here. He's completely just sort of there. Birds, suddenly a murmuration of birds like crows or something else flies out of the woods and flies across, and you sort of see it forming this amazing sort of moving cloud of creatures, like a proper murmuration, just like there, and then it just disperses around you. None of you feel that you're alone here.
I think that's it. Perhaps can we pack our things up? Maybe you should get him back to the van, and I go over with a glass of with a bottle of water towards Higginson.
He screams again. Once,
Penny, keep
twice,
recording.
3 times.
Yes.
And then the scream stops, and he lets out a single brief choking noise, and then he's still.
Mr. Higgins?
Oh my
Are
god.
you all in the circle now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm standing there with a water.
Is he
Adrian
alright?
is like there going, "Oh my god, what have you done?
What happened?
Oh my god!
Is he alright?
Oh my god!"
Well, do CPR or something. Is he there? What's going on? Is he breathing?
He's not breathing.
Oh,
Adrian's already on his back doing CPR.
Right, Lucy gets her phone out and hits 999 to get an ambulance.
Right. Okay, moving forwards an hour or two. Eric Higginson was called at 4:17 p.m. Presumably, you're going to have to explain to the television company that your star is dead.
Well, I'm not watching that back. Shit. I'm not watching that back, you know. And I get this huge just shiver up my spine because I'd see some fucked up shit if I saw that. Are we going?
I better ring the production company first and just let them know because, well, I have to. I can't get away from that.
I'm just going to go up and sit in the van and sit on the driver's seat waiting for us to go.
So I'm going to go and make my phone call.
Right, and it's Andre, the producer, at the other end. And he says, seriously, it's Sunday. I didn't want to be working on a Sunday, but here, what is going on here, Lucy? Can you please explain to me?
Oh, God, Ray, I wish I could. This place is seriously fucked up. Apparently there was some change to the schedule, which none of us knew about. Higginson turned up. We had an hour's notice. We managed to get the segment, so that's fine. But we suggested that he might want to perhaps hold a séance. You know, we had to try and appease him, so we thought we'd let him, you know, do something else because he was not in a good mood. He didn't want to be working on a Sunday either. I can totally understand. So we let him sort of carry on, and something happened to him. He seemed to get very agitated when he was partway through, and he had a heart attack. And God, he had a heart attack and he died right in front of us.
Eric Higginson died on set?
Yes, right in front of us. He was calling out to the spirit of this child that he'd been talking about in his segment. And he suddenly started... He was talking to somebody, to a woman that he said he'd made contact with. And then all of a sudden he started going, no, I'm banishing you. And then he sort of started screaming, and then he fell to the ground, and I don't know, he looked like he was having some kind of a fit, and then he just went. And Adrian tried CPR, got straight onto the ambulance. They came out, they worked on him for absolutely ages, and they couldn't save him. Gone.
Shit. Well, oh my God. This is going to be so much work. Are you aware of how much this is going to cost us?
I'm sorry, Ray. We didn't know he was going to have a heart attack and die right in the middle of the bloody circle.
His widow is going to sue the fuck out. What are we going to do?
He's done seances before. It's not like this was his first time. I don't know what we're going to do. I can barely think straight.
You're going to have to put things in order. I think we're going to have a serious talk about the future of you and your crew with the company, but in the time being, keep me updated with any developments of what's going on, and I will speak to you in the morning.
Right, fine. I will keep you updated.
He hangs up before you've even finished talking.
Charming. So Lucy puts her phone in her pocket, and she's round the side of the OB van, and she just takes a minute to lean up against it, and she just plays with her bracelet and counts her beads about, I don't know, 10 or 11 times? Quite quickly, more rapidly than she normally would. She can't kind of maintain her usual rhythm with that. Her heart's racing and she's a mess.
Okay, where's everyone else at this point?
I'm just sitting by the wheel, having packed everything away. I helped Penny get the last things in, but, you know, after that, I'm just sitting there, sort of drumming the wheel, nervously looking at my phone, wanting to get out of here.
Steve says to Penny, "Do you think we ought to watch that back?"
I kind of look up from. I've actually been watching it over and over and over, almost since it happened. And Steve, do you believe we killed him?
No.
I mean, we told him to do it, and
No,
we
we
knew
suggested it to him. We didn't tell him to do it. We didn't make him do it.
No, but we practically did. You know him. We kind of played to his weaknesses. You know that, and we kind of knew about the apparition, the child,
It
and
wasn't our fault, Penny. We made a suggestion. He decided it was a good idea. We didn't force him to do it, nor did we know what was likely to happen. Now, it's sad and regrettable and all of those things, obviously, but it isn't our fault. I just wonder whether we ought to watch the footage back to see if we could work out what happened.
well, all I can see is the fear in his eyes and his voice. It's
But you looking at it on a small screen on the camera, I wonder whether we ought to put it up on a big screen
Yeah.
and have a proper look.
in the van.
Aye, in the van.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's just kind of feels like we killed him, Steve.
Well,
It does.
but we didn't, and maybe what we've recorded will show what actually happened. Should we wait for Lucy?
Yeah, we should wait for Lucy. Now just sit down wherever and yeah.
And Lucy comes in. Okay, Lucy, how you got this one? What are you doing? What are you saying to them?
Okay, guys. I just talked to Ray. And there is no easy way to say this, so I'm just going to keep it brief. And basically, I think we're fucked. He's not happy.
Did you sanitize it for him at all?
Well, I just basically said what had happened. I wasn't going to lie because...
Well, no, there would have been no point because he would have just watched the footage back and seen what happened anyway. On that score, I was just saying to Penny that perhaps we ought to have a look at it on the big screen, see if we can't work out what happened.
We saw what happened.
Yeah, but we've seen a lot of things that we thought were what happened, and they weren't what happened.
Yeah, but what you've got to think about is the fact that a guy that we all thought was essentially full of bullshit seemed to actually, probably for the first time in his fucking life, made an actual genuine connection.
Isn't that a good enough reason to look at it?
But look what happened to him. Do we need to watch that back?
I'm just looking for answers, Lucy, that's all.
Oh, go on then, watch it back. Oh, I wish we'd never decided to give him that bottle of bloody brandy. I could just do with some right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucy goes to one of the cupboards and...
It's not like he had all of it. Just go and get it. It's not like he swagged that and chugged the whole bottle, is it?
Gareth, you can't be suggesting that we're going to rob a dead man of his last bit of brandy, surely. It's disgraceful.
Are you serious? I just keep drumming the wheel. I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to watch that back. You're going to see some picture of a little girl, choking him with a noose or something. I don't want to see that shit. And I'm already messed up with this. This going to...
Don't worry, Gareth, it's
All right.
fine, you
Gareth,
don't have to.
we're going to take a look at it. I suggest you step outside the van and wait for us outside. We'll tell you when we're done.
I'll just be in the driver's seat, mate. That's all. Till we leave, I'll be in the driver's seat. That's all.
As you sit behind the wheel, we'll do you first. As we sit behind the wheel, you see your magpie on the ground near the van. It's pecking around.
I roll down the window. I say, Hey, Nick? Is that you, Nick?
It cocks its head on one side and it sort of looks at you.
Look, I'm sorry, Nick. I don't know what I did. What you made you Why'd you come at me like that, Nick? Did I do something bad? Is it because of the hawk? I'm sorry.
It hops back and it sort of cocks its head as if to say, "Come follow me."
Oh no, Nick, I'm not... Are you sure? And I get... My skin just crawls. But at the same time, I feel like... This is a creature that means me well. And he knows that what I did when I took care of him when he was dying, I was showing him love. So if he's got anything that he needs me to go towards, or or to stay away from the van even, then that makes me almost more unsettled to stay. I slowly, hesitantly open the door. I look around and I step out and I leave the door open.
Meanwhile, in the van, watching the film, you see him doing the seance stuff, sticking his hand in the air and sort of saying, I have a spirit, I see someone. And the camera coming into view on the camera, it's weird because it gets all snowy and weird at this point. It gets really snowy and weird, and you have what? It's almost as if like it's intersected with frames of black and white. Steve, you recognise brief snatches and shots from the 1969 ghost story. Someone comes out of the trees. Something comes out of the trees. It's difficult to make out because you have like, was that a Dalek? You see snatches of old television and things there, but then you see suddenly it all becomes clear, and you see upon him a figure in white with raggedy black hair leaping upon him and putting its taloned hands around his throat.
Steve hits the pause button at that point,
And he screams. And then it's black and white, and then it's like snowy black and white, and it's a shot from the ghost story.
and that's what the tape pauses on, is the shot from the ghost story. Did everyone else see what I think I saw?
I think so, but I'm not sure what I saw.
Well, I saw stuff that didn't happen in front of my eyes at the time, and I saw stuff from all of them tapes that we got in the cupboard. Did you see that?
What, the stuff in between was the stuff on the tapes?
Aye.
How can that be?
I don't know.
This is just so wrong. I need a drink. I desperately need a drink.
You're all aware that she's a sober alcoholic, I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so what is your response to that then?
I don't think that's necessarily the answer, Penny.
Well, it kind of depends on the question, doesn't it?
Well, the question's whether you want to stay in charge of your faculties at this point, I think, as same as it is for the rest of us.
Yeah. This is just... It's... How do you even handle something like this? It's... Where did Gareth go? I thought he was going to sit in the van.
I think probably we ought to at least leave the circle. Why don't we go back to the pub and just regroup?
Can't we just get the hell out of here?
The ambulance is taking him away now. Gareth, you are in the circle now, and the bird has sort of hopped away ahead. You suddenly become aware that there is outside the circle another ghost magpie. Another bird that shouldn't perhaps be there.
Is it the same? Is Is it Nick? Is it my magpie? Have I been following the wrong one?
Yes, you realise that you have been following the wrong magpie. And now there is no magpie. I think you need to roll courage now.
I hold my arms wrapped tightly around me, feeling desperately cold. 18.
But you are in the circle. And you can see a figure in the trees. 2 figures in the trees. 2 figures in white, as far as you can make out, with ragged hair.
Nick, something bad's gonna happen, isn't it? Something really bad.
Your bird flies away.
Nick?
It's gone.
No, don't leave me, Nick. I start towards where he stood and where he's going. Don't leave me, Nick. Desperately trying to run after it.
The 2 figures advance into the circle. They bar your way. These pale, drawn-faced women with the blank, empty pits in their eyes.
Please, what do you want?
They come forwards.
What do you
Their
want?
hands have fingers like the talons of some terrible bird. Have clawed taloned hands. They advance towards you.
Please, stay away. I try to back up from them.
Right, you're backing up.
I didn't mean anything. I didn't mean anything bad. I want to go home.
Right, at this point, the van door opens. You hear the van door open. Because everybody wants to know where Gareth's gone to.
I'm gonna come out first, I think.
You see Gareth pretty much responding the way that Eric did. He seems to be retreating from something invisible.
So I'm gonna Gareth! And I'm just gonna run up to him.
As soon as I hear her yelling Gareth's name, of course, I tumbled out of the van as well and start scrambling after.
Meanwhile, Steve is still with the video, which is still paused in that place. The shot from the 60s ghost story.
Steve is staring at the screen, transfixed, because he can't work out what's been happening. He knows what he's seen, but it doesn't make sense. And he's trying to decide whether to rewind the tape and watch it again, whether to stop the tape and take it out, or what to do. So he's just transfixed at the screen.
Which is why he's unprepared when the hands come out of the screen and wrap themselves around his throat.
What? What? No! Fuck! And he grabs the wrists to try and pull the hands from his throat and yells for the others at the same time, but it's a strangulated and they probably can't even hear it.
Yeah. Dyson health, please.
20.
You know what? That's still not enough. Right. You are shaken and you fill in another stone. How many stones do you have filled in?
2.
2. Okay. The women come to the hysterical Gareth. As they reach you, Gareth, you close your eyes and then you open them again and the ghostly women are gone. They're not there.
I collapse on the ground. Oh gosh. Oh god. Oh god.
What happened? Are you okay?
They were coming for me.
Who?
I don't know. Not the girl. Some other women. They had talons for fingernails.
Oh my god.
They look like the ones from the ghost story.
It's like from the film. You know, the couple was in the circle.
Oh my god.
And
Gareth, get out of here. Please, get out of here.
Can you walk?
Yeah, I start pulling. I start pulling your arm to get you to move out of the circle.
I let you help me up, and I stumble back towards the van again.
What were you doing there after everything that happened? Why did you go there?
I just had a feeling, I just had a feeling that something really bad was going to happen in the van, and I had to get out of it.
No one is in the van, by the way.
Oh crap, where's Steve gone?
Steve, you don't know where you are right now. You seem to have woken up. It's like you've woken up into sort of an odd kind of place. Everything is kind of snowy and obscured and difficult to make out. And everything is black and white. And you're in the woodlands. You're in the woods.
Stagger up from my knees and rub my face and blink and try and bring everything into focus. How did I get out here? And I look around and I'm confused as to why I can't see properly and why everything is monochrome. And I walk through the trees. Lucy? Penny? Gareth?
The trees seem to be endless. Okay, guys, there's no sign of Steve. What are you doing in the van?
I'm going to get Gareth a bottle of water from the cupboard. And then I'm just going to have a quick scout around outside to see if I can see any sign of Steve. He's not left us a note or anything, so I can't see him. So I'm going to try ringing him.
Oh, it goes to voicemail. Oh, and incidentally, in the cupboard, you get some water. Interesting thing in the cupboard. That's where the videotapes and film cans were stowed. Right?
Yeah.
The videotapes are gone.
Oh, crap.
The cans are there, as far as you can make out, but the videotapes are gone.
Has Steve fucked off with all those bloody videotapes? They've all gone, look.
What was on the tape?
Well,
what did you see? Did you see him? Did you see him get killed?
Yeah. It's alright, we don't need to talk about that. Let's just forget that for now, okay? Where's Steve?
It was mixed with scenes from the movie, Gareth. It was like the killing of Eric was interwoven with the old movie, The Austringer. It was...
I think we should go. I think we should go home now. I don't think Steve is coming back.
Well, he's got to be here somewhere.
What do you mean?
Do you think he's gone back to the B&B or something? We've got to go back there to get our stuff.
I don't know, but I don't think he's coming back. I think we should go now. I think we should leave.
Let me
would
just
he?
try and ring him again. And I hit redial for about the 6th time.
He wouldn't have walked on his own.
Voicemail every time. Crap. Okay, let's go back to the B&B and see if we overtake him on the road or something.
All right. I get up.
Steve, as you come to the edge of the black and white forest, you see on the bluff of a hill a tall, ragged silhouette.
Do I recognise it?
Yeah, it's from
Is it the Austringer?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I feel inexplicably drawn to walk towards it rather than away from it.
Alright. So you guys driving back to the village?
Yeah.
So, you remember Mrs. Newman's house, which is not quite near where you were staying?
Yeah.
You have to drive past it. All the windows are boarded up. And there's a for sale sign in the front yard.
Well, that's a bit odd.
Well, she didn't waste much time.
No. Oh my god.
Do they look like? Does it look old? Does it look like it happened
Oh
long
yeah,
ago?
yeah. Those aren't new boards. Not at all.
And I slowed down a bit.
Okay.
And as I've said that, I was like, that's really weird. Is that really the house?
Yeah, that's the place.
I look at my maps app that I brought up. Like, where are we now?
The B&B's just down the road.
Yeah, you're in Wiltshire. Obviously, you've always been in Wiltshire.
Right, wheelchair, yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's down there. And I start driving down towards it again.
Okay, so you make it to the B&B, and obviously Steve's not there.
Is anyone there? Or is it just as empty as usual?
It's just as empty as usual. All your stuff's there, present and correct.
It's not here. It's not. I don't know. It's like. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I just think we should. You know, we've already lost Eric.
We should probably talk to the local police or something. Report him missing at least.
They won't do anything until he's been missing for at least 24 hours, but we can try. At least we can report it. Let me just run up and check his room, see if he's up there. I wonder if I can get in, if it's locked.
Oh, it's locked.
Oh crap! So I can't even check if his stuff's there.
Well, how would he possibly have gotten back here?
I don't.
It's
I know.
impossible.
I know.
I mean, it's miles away, and he would have had to have carried all those videos. They weren't in a box or anything.
We didn't pass him on the road.
No, he's.
Should we check the back of the van in case he left us a message somewhere and it maybe got knocked on the floor or something?
Or maybe the key for his room is there.
Oh,
I don't know.
maybe. Yeah, should we check?
Yeah. All right. Who's going to the van? Is it all of you, or?
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna sit by the driver's seat.
Right, he's sitting by the driver's seat.
No, actually, I hesitate for a bit. As soon as they go out, I go out too because I don't want to be left alone again.
Okay. Steve, you manage eventually, after what seems like years, to get up to the top of the hill, to where the tall, austere figure of the Austringer stands, silently looking upon you.
Mr. Baker?
Aye,
Where am I?
you're on a hill.
When am I?
Does it matter? All of this is the same as it always was. It's the same as it always will be. We just stand here, me and my hawk, hunting for food, as it always is.
Where are the others?
What others?
My colleagues.
Oh, I expect my friends will come and find them.
Your friends.
You think too much about things. You think too much about your silly television programs. You never wonder what it is to eat. You never wonder what it is to need. You never really understand any of this. You will never understand any of this. Do you know how tired I am?
I'm not sure I know anything anymore. Can I go back?
Why would I let you go back?
Because it's my place.
Down the hill. Walk.
Where to?
Walk!
All right. And he walks down the hill.
Eventually, he walks and walks and walks. And it seems like hours, and then it seems like days, and you lose all track of time. There's no sign of Steve. You're supposed to stay here another night, everybody. But are you going to?
Part of me just wants to get the hell out of there, but, I feel responsible for my entire team, and Steve is a part of that team, so... we've got the OB van and we've got the car, haven't we? We've got 2 vehicles. So if Penny or Gareth wanted to go, we have got 2 vehicles, because I think I ought to stay.
I'm not leaving you alone, Penny. I'm staying as well. We need to stay here if Steve gets back.
Oh, thank you, hon.
Oh,
How long conceivably are you going to be able to stay?
Well, I think if we phone the police and report him missing, stay for the night that we've booked for, and then go back tomorrow. I think that's all we can do.
Which you do. And this is what happens. You do this for some time. You stay there, and then you stay another day, actually, because there's no sign of him. And eventually you're gone. You're gone. Gareth, what are you doing? What's your feeling?
well, I just wanted to leave, but I can't. I don't dare, to be honest, to leave on my own. Even if I were to take the car for myself, I couldn't. I wouldn't. I would be skeptical to even sleep alone, in my own room. At this point, I'm really, really shook up. So, I'm going to ask if I can stay, however, in one of the others' room.
Okay, which you do. Steve does eventually return. Long after his funeral, in fact, he finds himself, after this almost eternal walk in the village of Hoddesdon, 9 months later. Your careers, we will find, are inevitably in ruins. The death of Eric Higginson becomes a staple of internet conspiracy theories, of all sorts of things. You do thankfully manage to escape the consequences of being sued by Eric Higginson's widow, but it's a close run thing. We never find out what happens to the cans of film, which are inevitably empty, and the videos which are gone.
In the weeks that followed the events by the Shivering Circle, Penny wandered around in a haze, not really aware of the passing of time or what people around her were doing. She knew that she had to wait for Steve to come back. And she knew she had to be there for Lucy and for Gareth. When Steve finally returned, she was elated, but there was a gnawing sense of her needing to be somewhere else. And it was with adamant determination she sold everything and booked a plane ticket to France and to Cassandra and Michael. She left everything behind in the hopes of forgetting the Austringer and what happened, and to start anew with her children.
The air always felt a bit cold for Gareth, ever since the events in Hoddesdon and the Shivering Circle. Even in the peak of summer, he often found himself trying to rub himself warm, desperate to escape the cold. Eventually, the nightmares started to subside, and with the sudden return of Steve, things started to feel a bit better. Gareth never returned his calls, however, and could no longer bear being in the same room as a TV. He started to turn away from people, talking less and less even with his father, no longer helping him around the house and feeling all the more guilty about it. Desperate to escape, he moved from one practical job to another, eventually making enough money to leave. Supposedly, somewhere warm. But things never did feel warm again. Not for Gareth Price.
Hello, this is Lucy. I don't really know why I'm doing this, but my therapist said it would help, so I'll give it a go and see. Well, what can I say? After everything that happened, about, 9 months later, Steve turned up. And oh my god, he was in such a state. It was dreadful. I had not been doing awfully well myself. I went straight back into therapy. Obviously my job went down the pan, kind of expecting that. So I decided to try and take up something where I didn't need to be around people very much. So I've gone into gardening, which, it's all right. I quite enjoy it, but it's not the same. Miss the guys. Yeah, Steve just turned up, and I took him along to a few of my therapy sessions, hoping that it might help him, but he just... whatever he watched on those bloody videotapes, it just got right inside his head, and that was all he would talk about. He would just break off in the middle of a session and just start quoting lines from it. It was really, really, really weird, and actually quite unnerving, and I didn't know how to help him. I spoke to my therapist, I spoke to his doctor, although the doctor wasn't awfully helpful. Yeah, it was a nightmare. And then I'm not entirely certain what happened, because I only got the sort of very vaguest of phone calls, because I was one of the contacts in his phone. And it seems that something happened at his home, and one of his neighbours had to call for help. And the upshot of it was that basically he was sectioned, and he's been in a mental facility ever since. He spends a lot of his time... I've been to see him. It's not the same Steve. The Steve I knew is gone. And he doesn't know who I am anymore. He spends a lot of his time quoting lines from those stupid TV shows. Wish we'd never found them. Wish we'd never gone there. I don't think this is helping. I'm going to have to go back to my therapist and ask what else I can do. I'm not coping with this.
Mr. Baker? Mr. Baker? Can you see it, Mr. Baker? It can do many things, Mr. Baker. But the thing it does most efficiently is exterminate human beings. It destroys them without mercy, without conscience. It destroys them utterly, completely. It destroys them. Can you hear what the creature is saying, Mr. Baker? I am your servant. I am your servant. I am your servant. I am your servant. I am your servant.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the Austringer for the folk horror game The Shivering Circle. Our game master was Howard David Ingham, and we were again joined by Mark and Tracey Norman from the Folklore podcast, as well as our dear friend Jenny Bremberg. The music was created by Kai Engel and used under a Creative Commons license from freemusicarchive.org. Production and editing was done by the Folklore podcast. Check them out to learn more about the horrors that hide in the tales of old. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, and Julia, for their generous support. And we would of course like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get early access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Vanilla Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and see you soon again.